the next question. Is using text-to-speech technology to read a crutch?
No, and it is not. Through we oftentimes in my department will get some pushback from teachers or parents about allowing students to use read aloud or speech to text features in their daily work, since when they are going to be participating in standardized testing, some of those features are not allowed unless it's written into their IEP. And even at the state testing level, they still cannot access those tools for those measured assessments. And that's a state-to-state educational decision. So I always encourage the parents to be the squeaky wheel, if you might say, and try to get that changed. But I think the most important part of allowing that student to use that text to speak is to help them build confidence as a student. So it's not, to me, I think they begin to realize that there isn't anything that's like wrong with them or that they can't keep up with their peers, that they see that it's just a hurdle, that they have access to a tool that's going to help them through that. So they build confidence. They start to get thirsty for more books. So you develop a reader, you develop somebody who wants to be exposed to more text. And then, so here now you have confidence, you have desire. And so now we just have to work on that skill. And so as students drill down into learning their decoding skills, and if they're really being challenged to try to put together their phonemic awareness and their decoding skills, they spend so much working memory and cognitive energy trying to decode those words that they cannot pick up the comprehension. That's an after the fact, and they don't remember what they read because they're too focused on trying to figure out what they're reading. So by giving them that text to speech, they can give their working memory a little bit of a break, and they can listen to it read. So we tell teachers, and we have resources that we share with them of the research that backs it up, is that the text to speech is going to build fluency, it's going to build phonemic awareness, and it's going to increase. Every student's different on how much it's going to increase, but it is going to increase their ability to read independently.
Okay, thank you, Gigi. That's a very powerful story for sure. And one question I'll have related to that. Okay, let's say there was two possibilities. Okay, let's say a child is in grade 6, but reads a grade 2 level. Okay, so let's think about the two possible scenarios. So one possibility would be you allow the child to read with text-to-speech grade 6 reading level, or instead of that, you don't allow to use text-to-speech and say the child is going to read grade 2 material while all their peers are using grade 6. Mm-hmm. Which of the two you think is a better, either both for just the learning to read perspective and also for maybe also for the self-esteem perspective? Which of the two you think is a better intervention for these children?
Definitely the grade level material. And it all depends also on what is the objective of the lesson. So if the teacher, if it's a reading class and the student, so in the United States, we have the American with Disabilities Act. So it's a law, that these students are allowed to have these tools and have access to them. That's part of it. And that whole scenario you just presented was the reason that the students from my Kindling a Passion for Reading article, why those students had never read a full novel before, is because of their learning disability. Their teacher would take them to the school library and tell them they had to be able to get a book on their level. And those students were 6th graders. They did not want to check out a 2nd grade book and be carrying it around when their peers had other books. They had reading disabilities. And so typically most of them didn't have a public library card where they could go borrow a book. And they didn't want to walk from the high school over to the middle school to try to find something on level for them to read. So by giving them a Kindle, it also gives them a private reading experience, and it keeps the reading content discreet. So they can have a library where they can have grade level material that they can listen to for leisure reading and to be able to have the same experience as their peers are. And then they can have the the actual instructional level that they're able to comprehend on another book on their Kindle, but it's a private device. Once they put their headphones in and they have their tablet in front of them, nobody else knows what they're reading. They're not holding up like a big red Clifford the dog book so that everybody can see it. So it gives them some privacy and some discretion, but then it also gives them the social aspect of being able to share in the content that their peers have.
Thank you, Gigi. Excellent. That's really, I'm really happy we're talking today. These are really all so very important topics. And I really hope thousands of people will be able to access this information, these stories in the YouTube. Gigi, have you ever seen a child who regressed in their reading skills because of use of text-to-speech technology?
No, and exactly the opposite. So absolutely have never seen in my 30 years of teaching a student regress because they're using their text-to-speech. Never, I can say that.
Gigi, I have another question for you. How gratifying has it been for you to witness children to become better readers once they are allowed to use text-to-speech technology? How great has it been for you to see that?
It's powerful. It's emotionally moving, and it has brought me to tears. And it just feels like this is it validates my decision to come into this field, and it validates choices of technology, and it's very powerful for me. It's really the food for my soul that keeps me working, especially at this time in education for the last few years.